Ellen DeGeneres bailed on America just before those Epstein documents finally went public. Now, Katt Williams is spilling tea on her secret ties to Ghislaine Maxwell. Word on the street is that Epstein had a high-profile mole inside Hollywood. Fresh rumors claim Ellen was actually the big star working for him the whole time.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions. And each time she speaks, there's a different version.
And that is from the documentary that's just aired in the United States. That's come just off the satellite. For more, we're joined by US broadcaster Cooper Lawrence to dissect it. What did you make of Ghislaine Maxwell?
It reminded me of Nobody Taught Me How to Curtsy and I Didn't Inhale. There was a lot of this evidence that came out during the trial that suddenly she's like, no, it's fake. I mean, during the trial, they showed her that photo and she said, yeah, that's me, that's my apartment, I recognize it. And, it was one of the things that indicted her. Now suddenly it's a fake photograph.
On June 28, 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell got a 20-year prison sentence and a $750,000 fine for her crimes with Jeffrey Epstein. Police caught her working as a recruiter who helped find more victims for him. She was found guilty of 5 counts, like transporting young girls for abuse from 1994 to 2004. Right at this time, Ellen DeGeneres ended her talk show after claims of a toxic workplace and vanished from the public eye.
DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia.
Bit of
Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch.
Maybe this is just one big coincidence. However, Ellen's top worker, Stephen, boss died right when she escaped to the UK and switched up her look. The show's executive producer took his own life just 2 months after she left. His note reportedly said he couldn't handle the corrupt industry anymore and felt sorry for failing people. While he stayed vague, he mentioned feeling major stress and guilt over keeping quiet for so long.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitch boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
This is no accident. Ellen ended her series right as Ghislaine Maxwell faced prison, then bolted once she realized she might get caught in the drama. Katt Williams claims Hollywood never has coincidences. People don't just walk away from shows making hundreds of millions of dollars without a serious motive. Ellen was terrified.
The type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing. See, what I'm saying is, in business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
But think about what you just think about what you just said. That's extremely thoughtful and powerful. It could only be what it was if it were those two. Those two, yes. Will Smith and Chris Rock. It could only be what it has been with those two black men.
If you put any other names together, the police are out on stage, they've cut to commercial, you didn't see what happened. By the time they come out, people have been removed, it goes on. It's certain ways things are handled when it's not intentional. When things go smoothly, but they seem chaotic, that means there was forethought and a plan. Somebody, even if it looks like, Janet Jackson just had a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, there's no such thing.
Correct.
I don't care who you blame.
I believe that.
Somebody benefited. Yeah. So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way. No way.
With more Epstein files dropping, fans are rewatching Ellen's old clips and spotting creepy links to his island crimes. Court papers reveal Epstein was obsessed with harvesting stem cells from kids and fetuses. These reports mention weird science like genetics and human reproduction, involving billionaire Peter Nygaard too. Now, people are freaking out over the exact same topics Ellen used to push on her own show.
Let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do this?
Not everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a...
Tons of other stars were doing it too. Some critics say Hollywood worked together to make this gross behavior seem normal. Back in 2016, Steve Harvey hosted Michelle Park, who showed him Oprah's top anti-aging cream by SkinMedica. This product is actually made using skin from young children. The brand admits they use these cells to grow new skin layers. Now, conspiracy theorists think celebs use these items to stay young forever, linking the beauty business to the dark exploitation of kids.
Put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're gonna rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human...
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared. I can't even ball my hand up.
So it's made from human foreskin. I'm sorry, Steve.
You done sat up here and squirted somebody's private parts in my damn hair. What you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
This your last time on the show. This your last time.
Chris Hansen also checked out these rumors while digging into Epstein and found the same scary facts as everyone else. Sexual crimes weren't the only bad things happening on that island. The DOJ released tons of emails proving Epstein wanted to use genetic engineering to harvest and clone cells from kids. He would then ship these cells as medicine to his rich buddies. He promised his friends that these injections would help them stay young forever.
Yeah.
Freakazoid.
Yes.
And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada, waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know.
That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet.
Yeah.
But it's a question.
Yeah,
when you look at the context of the jerky stuff.
Yeah, and when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, were they in contact somehow? I mean, obviously, there are some people who are in the concentric circles of associates.
Katt Williams discussed this on Joe Rogan's podcast and claimed the powerful elites running the industry use their positions to find young people for other leaders. He said they trap these men and women to serve the top bosses. He even called out Diddy and Epstein as the two main guys in charge.
Those one world people exist because it's a very powerful concept to have and far too lucrative and beneficial to not. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Right.
Followers of these theories also spot secret symbols in Ellen's show, which they think was a way to make Epstein's island activities seem normal. These elites even tried to recruit Katt Williams. In a fresh interview with Theo Von, Katt said he was stunned by Harvey Weinstein's true power. Weinstein supposedly offered Katt any actress he desired. These women were just a phone call away for Harvey, as long as Katt kept quiet and helped find new victims. Fans, models, and especially child actors are all targets.
No remorse, no voice. Ghislaine has no soul. And you know yourself what I've been through trying to take her down. And the reason why I've had to go through that is because she's a dangerous human being. She will reoffend, and reoffend. These people never stop, ever.
So you were by both of them?
Virginia Gifford, one of Epstein's bravest victims, was the very first person to reveal how this operation worked. Epstein scouted people himself, but you can't feed hundreds of victims to the world's elite without help. He had a whole team of recruiters traveling around to trick and manipulate people. Ghislaine Maxwell was only one of these helpers. There are likely dozens of other recruiters out there who never got caught or arrested for their roles.
News alert, the Department of Justice just dropped last month's jailhouse interview with Epstein Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. And it's a doozy. First, she doesn't think Epstein killed himself.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide. No.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And what about Epstein's infamous client list? Did he even have a list?
You never observed, or you never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who, linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no. I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never
I never imagined it.
The list doesn't exist? So flight manifests don't exist? The surveillance tapes don't exist? The bank records don't exist? Well, what about Trump? The media spent the last couple months trying to smear him as Epstein's predator pal.
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
A good portion of the interview focused on Bill Clinton. Author Daniel Halper told Primetime Clinton was romantically involved with Maxwell. Would Ghislaine sell out her old flame? And she was asked about Bill and said he never did anything inappropriate and that Bill never went to...
The only reason Ghislaine finally got caught was because of how many people she hurt. She recruited hundreds of young kids for Epstein. She hunted for struggling teenagers who were broke or lonely and made Epstein look like a hero who could save them. Many victims now say the scariest thing about Ghislaine was how she targeted you at your weakest point. She used your pain to pressure you into doing terrible things that you never wanted to do.
Infiltrate the Illuminati. Find out what the fuck they got going on. Get the information. Run back to y'all. Tell y'all everything I know. That's my motherfucking job. But I don't know how many more times I'm gonna be able to sneak in there. Thanks to Shannon Sharp and 90 million views, I can't sneak very often. So while I was in there this last time, knowing that my last report might be my last report, I went in there and I got information for everybody. Look at my white friends. Us too? That's right, white secret.
Recently, an old Ghislaine Maxwell interview blew up online. In the clip, she confirmed what everyone already suspected. Epstein was silenced, so the powerful elites linked to him would never get caught. Over 400 famous people worldwide have already been outed for their ties to his trafficking ring. Just imagine how many more would be in trouble if Epstein actually got to testify. Around 3 million censored files held that data. Even crazier, that is not even half of everything investigators actually found.
Question: which one do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd and lascivious conduct with a prostitute if possible. That exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23rd, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning 2002 to 2022. Epstein died in 2019, and emails received after that are largely spam or marketing offers. Overall, the emails offer a raw look into the disgraced financier and sex offender's world. While this inbox wasn't the only one he used, the newly uncovered emails do suggest how central Maxwell was to his life. Something that contradicts her telling of events. She's characterized herself as a former girlfriend and property manager for Epstein, not someone with eyes into his vast influence machine or sex trafficking operation. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence for conspiring with Epstein to sexually abuse minors. Maxwell was central to curating Epstein's inner circle, according to these emails. In some emails, she's organizing visits with the likes of Sergey Brin and his then-girlfriend, Ann Wood.
There is also the scary fact that whistleblowers like Katt Williams are being shut down. Katt claimed that the powerful elites are finally catching up to him now. He believes it is only a matter of time before they come after him, too.
She's getting special treatment.
Les Trent spoke to Sam Mangle, a prison consultant who has 3 clients at the same facility as Maxwell, the Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas.
Whether it's access to a laptop computer, which is unheard of, to visits where they lock down the camp and no one can leave their bunks while she's having visitors.
Allegations of other perks, according to the New York Times, include meals being delivered to her cell and being served bottled water while other inmates drink tap water, playing with service dogs, showering alone, and watching TV alone in staff-only areas. They even provided her with an umbrella to shade her from the hot Texas sun while she took her daily walks.
She's been given the freedom and liberties that the other inmates do not have.
Last July, Maxwell was moved from a medium security prison in Florida to the minimum security camp in Texas. This followed her meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. According to reports, fellow inmates at the facility were threatened with solitary confinement or transferred to a tougher penitentiary if they voiced complaints about Maxwell's perks.
They've been told from the day she got there, do not discuss her, do not put anything in writing, do not talk about her on the phone, do not make any trouble regarding Miss Maxwell, or we will move you to another location.
To show you how much info is being hidden, the DOJ released emails where Epstein clearly talks about victims to other elites. However, not a single file actually names these people. In fact, hundreds of thousands of pages are totally blacked out. This means the people truly responsible won't ever be exposed. Despite her awful crimes, Ghislaine Maxwell got moved to a chill, low, security prison with crazy perks like her own puppy. A fellow inmate says her life behind bars is nothing like everyone else's. She gets special treatment and shows zero regret for what she did. When victims went on TV to tell their stories to Congress, she reportedly acted like she didn't care at all. Now, as the files finally start coming out, the world is waiting to see who else gets caught. As more documents drop and more witnesses speak up, this wild story is nowhere near finished. If you want to keep up with every new detail that comes out, be sure to like this video and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next big reveal. Tell me what you think about all of this down in the comments.